Okay, this is take 3. Got a little bit. I went all Mel Gibson on the first 2, so I've got it out of my system. Let's have a nice rational video talking about how Israel deliberately targets Christians and they recently bombed a church. Anyone else got heartburn? I do.
According to the reporting, 10:20 a.m. yesterday, the compound of the Holy Family in Gaza, which belongs to the Latin Patriarch, was struck by the Israeli army. 3 people died from their injuries, 9 others were wounded, including one in critical condition, and the priest, the parish priest, Father Gabriel Romanelli, was also injured. This is the line from the Latin Patriarch. The Latin Patriarchate, which is the Catholic Church in Gaza, the Latin Patriarchate strongly condemns this tragedy and this targeting of innocent civilians and of a sacred place.
They tried to kill a priest. They bombed the church. They injured everybody there. And they did it deliberately. Okay, I want to make it very clear. Israelis, the same Israelis that are in the Australian government, the same Israelis that tell you that Hamas are terrorists, just committed a terrorist attack on the only church in Gaza.
So, Israel came out later on after international outcry, including from the White House. Israel came out and said, it was a mistake, it was an accident. Was it an accident? I don't see any evidence that it was an accident. Can you provide me some proof that it was an accident?
It wasn't.
You struck the church. Churches are pretty obvious targets.
Exactly.
They're pretty obvious sites. There's certain features, the cross, steeple, they're pretty obvious. Can you explain to me how this was an accident? I haven't heard that. The Latin Patriarch seems to think it was intentional. The targeting of innocent civilians, not just a stray bullet, the targeting. And he goes on, he says, however, this tragedy is not greater or more terrible than the many others that have befallen Gaza. Many other innocent civilians have also been harmed, displaced, and killed. Death, suffering, and destruction are everywhere. This horrific war must come to a complete end so that we may commence the long work of restoring human dignity. Diane Montagna, who's a great reporter on the Vatican and Rome and the Pope, says His Holiness renews his call for an immediate ceasefire. So he's talking about Pope Leo. He expresses his profound hope for dialogue, reconciliation, and enduring peace in the region. And then the Pillar, which is a Catholic outlet, says sources close to the Patriarch's chancery told the Pillar Thursday that some officials believe the strike could have been a deliberate act of retaliation after Christian leaders recently condemned Israeli settler attacks on a West Bank Christian town. Now, I want you to...
All right. Many Christians have come out. Real Christians, not the fake Zionist Christians that are actually Israelis and they pretend to be priests so that they can infiltrate the church and brainwash people because they have nothing but contempt for Catholicism and Christians. They have nothing but contempt for us. You gotta understand, the whole Judeo-Christian BS, whenever I hear Judeo-Christian, I know that they're Israeli. And I know they're from the military-industrial complex. That's it. Whenever you hear someone, Judeo-Christian values, what a load of BS. What a load of BS that is. When you tell Israel, hey, look, you're committing a genocide here. It's widely known that you're committing a genocide. They go and target a church to get revenge on us. If the Pope was in there, they would kill the Pope. They would like to put, they'd love to put an Israeli in charge of the church as well. Israeli Pope. The same way they put fake priests that aren't vetted properly in the church. All over Australia, we have Israelis that are fake priests telling you that, it's the woke right. If Judeo-Christian values and Hamas and terrorists and we need to go after the Muslims. It's the same thing that just happened over in New Zealand, brainwashing people. All layers of government are controlled by these people. They do everything they can to control Australia. And I bet Michael Knowles isn't aware of how much power Australia has in this. If Australia kicked out all the Zionists, Israel would collapse. And their political power in the United States would collapse as well. But that's another topic. They're bombing churches. This is serious.
Put a bar. First of all, we pray for the dead and for this Christian community. But put a bar there for a second. There's another story coming out, which is that Mike Huckabe, as strong a supporter as the State of Israel as there is, U.S. ambassador to the State of Israel. According to the Times of Israel, Mike Huckabe is threatening to declare Israel not welcoming Christians as a visa fight blows open, penned a scathing letter to the Interior Minister accusing Israel of blocking Christian groups from entering Israel and threatening reciprocal steps against Israeli visa seekers. As I've mentioned before, everyone seems to hate the state of Israel these days, mostly coming from the left, but some people on the right have joined. And I've been broadly supportive of the state of Israel, not really as an ideological matter, but as a matter of prudence.
Well, what he means by that is he works for the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire is run by Israel, okay? He works for Israel, but he's a Catholic. You see, Candace Owens was part of the Daily Wire as well until she realized that they were evil, and she left. You see? She left. As soon as she left, because the state of Israel runs Australia as well, she's been banned from entering Australia, not because she's committed a crime or she's done something wrong, it's because she's a Christian. She's not allowed in Australia because she's Christian. Let's just get to the point. The Australian government that talks about Israel and talks about the Holocaust and all this other BS are the same people that locked us down during COVID. All of the governments, all of the politicians, all of the lockdowns, these are Zionists. These are Israelis. That's who they are. The ones that were building the death camps in Brisbane. In Queensland, they had the wellness camps to put you into a gas chamber. You got to start thinking that's what these people are. The same people.
And you're losing me. You're losing me. Right now, go to donewithdebt.com. The American dream looks a little different these days, you know?
Oh, we've got an ad. Whoops. So, for you guys, I'm an Australian. I don't run ads. I don't have any sponsorships. So, if you like what I do here, I earn a few dollars for doing it. I basically do this for free. I don't make my money through YouTube. You want to support me, become a member, or help me out somehow?
Listen, even if accidentally, but especially if not accidentally, you're losing me. If you're losing Mike Huckabe, the Israeli government is really screwing up, is really not playing its cards right. If Trump, I think the press secretary yesterday said Trump was furious, Trump was angry, and not the exact word, but he was quite dismayed to hear about this attack on the church. I agree with the Holy Father. I agree with the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, and I agree especially with the Holy Father on most matters. The war needs to come to an end. There need to be political...
The reason why Trump can't do anything about it is because he's been Epsteined, hasn't he? They got videos of him playing with kids or something. I sneezed at the right time. So he's being held ransom by Israel. And even Trump. My understanding is that he is a Catholic, but it's hard to say these days. Not a very good Catholic. But apparently he was furious at it, but he can't do anything about it. Why? Because they control him.
Consequences for this action. And the war needs to come to an end. How long is the war going to go on? I know what the answer is. The answer is, well, until the hostages come home. Okay, well, how about we redouble our efforts to get the hostages home, if that's the impediment to peace? Because it seems like there have been a lot of side quests and side missions going...
Yeah, side quests. No. It's basically 9/11. Most people, even rational, logical, highly educated people, if you have a private conversation with them, everybody thinks that Israel did 9/11, okay? So don't think that this is a crazy conspiracy theory. Everybody, I've not met anybody highly intelligent that does not think that Israel did 9/11. It's been 25 years, guys. They've been running the United States government ever since. They put John Howard in control in Australia. They took away your guns. And then they started siphoning money out of Australia, sending men to their death in the Middle East, corrupting every part of Australian culture and flooding us with scum immigrants that are committing crimes everywhere, like the scum immigrant that took away what my grandparents built and stole my inheritance recently from Indonesia. Because they don't care about you. They're at the point where they will bomb a church. They run your country and they hate you. And they hate Christians and they hate Catholics. So don't give me this BS of Judeo-Christian values, because it's just not real. It's a psyop.
In the Iran nuclear facilities, maybe potentially regime change in Iran, occupying southern Syria. It seems like there have been a lot of distractions. The war's been going on for almost 2 years. When's it going to end? Just what's the end of it?
He's got to call it a war because he works for them. But that's why I need to show you this video. He works for Israel. He gets paid by Israel, and even he can't hold it in anymore. It's like, whose side are you on, buddy? Eventually you need to say something.
Can anyone tell me that when the hostages are released? Well, then focus on getting the hostages released. Well, no, when Hamas is totally destroyed. Okay, well, when's that going to be? When Iran is no longer funding terrorism? When's that going to be? When Syria is made safe for democracy? When? Give me an answer. Because the war...
I can give him a really quick answer. It will be when the United States and Australia totally collapses. That's when it ends, because they control us politically. They will continue, like a parasite, to suck wealth, military hardware, political power, everything out of our countries until we die from them as a parasite. Because that's what they are. They are a parasite. So, Michael, I doubt you're going to see this. It's highly unlikely that you will, but that's when it ends.
It cannot just go on indefinitely. A just war cannot just go on indefinitely. And when you start striking churches, accidentally or otherwise, when you start interfering with American interests, not allowing in the reporting about Ambassador Huckabe, when you start interfering with American groups going to the State of Israel, now we got a problem. And America is the only friend that Israel has on planet Earth. So, I don't know. I do not get what the Israeli government is doing here, but I suspect there will be political consequences.
It's funny, Michael Knowles he's unaware of Australia. He doesn't know anything about Australia. One of the biggest countries in the world that funds Israel, and the taxes from all of the resources out of Australia goes to buying politicians in the United States, and Michael isn't aware of it. See, they're not real journalists. I'll give them that, but also it's hidden from them. So I don't expect them to understand what you and I know.
Consequences for it, as there should be. That was a great clip. Now stop, ring the bell, subscribe.
Okay, Michael Knowles. He's not all bad. I didn't like the guy when he deleted an interview he did with the man who had the highest IQ in the world at that point, who came out as a Christian and was talking about Jesus. And he deleted it because he works for the Jews. He works for Zionists. He works for Israel. That's my take on it. That's why I think he deleted it. I'm not sure if that is exactly why, but why else would you delete it? But he did. But now he might be redeeming himself. Anyway, Michael Knowles, well done for finally, after millions of dead children, you come out and speak out about this genocide that the people who fund you have been committing, but only after the church has been bombed. And that's the message here. If you listen to people like me early on, and you take action early, and you understand that I'm not stupid, I can see these things coming, that church would not have been bombed. It would not have been bombed if we took action against Israel earlier and tried to shut this down. They wouldn't have been able to do it. Anyway, see you guys next one.